boxing truth here. Andre Ward is looking for the biggest name at this stage of his career. He wants the money fight. He's accomplished what he has to accomplish, and now he's looking to cash out before he goes off into retirement. Andre Ward can care less about Undisputed. That's not part of his goal, and he's already demonstrated that in the past. He didn't become undisputed at 168 pounds. Wasn't willing to fight Lushan Bute. Let his leftovers take care of that for him. He's vacated straps in the past, avoided mandatories in the past for whatever reason. So it's not surprising that Andre Ward is not really looking to do an undisputed showdown with Adonis Stevenson. And I said that in my past videos about Ward and why I wanted Kovalev to win. Kovalev, I mean, if you guys really wanted to see an undisputed champion, I should have been rooting for Kovalev to win. Because at least he would have tried to make it happen. Adonis Stevenson would have been running scared and ducking for as long as he's had been anyways, but Kovalev would have attempted. At least he tried in the past to become undisputed. Unlike Andre Ward. And I'm not going to knock Ward for saying fuck Adonis Stevenson. I mean, who really gives a fuck? Who really cares? What the fuck has Stevenson been doing all this time? He's irrelevant. I could give a shit about Andre Ward not fighting Adonis Stevenson. Stevenson, he's been doing what he's doing. Fighting voluntary. He's not even fighting a mandatory, not even fighting the best available opponents in the WBC. The guy's a joke of a champion. A joke of a lineal champion at that. Still holding on to his very tainted Chad Dawson win, who was defeated by Andre Ward prior to that. Of course, at a weight he never campaigned at as a professional, I don't believe. So Ward, he's looking for the big money fight, and right now, that's Tony Bellew. That's the fight out there that only makes sense. All these other mandatories or the guys rated #1 for his belts. Peter Vives fighting for a position. Kavacvik's highly rated by WBO. He ain't going to fight those guys. For what purpose? Those are not the big names. Those are not the money fights that he's looking for. He's used to very high lucrative purses after being overpaid in 2 Kovalev fights. And the only fight that I see out there that can match that is a jump up in weight in the heavyweight division or cruiserweight division in a potential fight with Bellew. Bellew's a big name in the UK. He just sold a shitload of pay-per-views in his last fight against David Haye. So it's going to be interesting to see how that negotiation plays out. Of course, Eddie Hearn and Bellew will think they're the A side, and rightfully so. Just look at the business they did in their last fight with David Haye. And the fight only makes sense in one place, that's the UK. Doesn't really make sense in the United States. Andre Ward ain't a big name. Only sold less than 150,000, I believe, in the rematch with Kovalev in a poorly promoted show. Ward is just not a big name in the States. Wasn't able to sell out the Las Vegas venues on 2 occasions, even a smaller venue at the Mandalay Bay where even less people paid for tickets in that rematch. We should have generated a lot more interest, but if for some reason it just didn't. So that negotiation will be an interesting part of whether Ward can actually be a B-side or who would be the A-side in that event. I would say it's Bellew, since he's a cruiserweight champion, has done bigger business on his side of the pond, and he's coming off a good win and a lot of momentum. And Ward may consider a trip to the UK in order to get that purse he's desiring, that big money fight that he desires. To me, that's the only fight out there for him. The Stevenson fight's just not going to happen. It's too difficult. Stevenson fighting on different network. He's already avoided Kovalev in the past, made up an excuse about the networks, even though he's not signed to any of those networks that he fights on in the PBC platform. He's not a big name in the States. Ward's not going to go to Canada to fight him when he doesn't have to, since he considers himself the ace side in that matchup. So it's not going to happen. Too difficult, not a big enough fight. Not going to cut it for Andre Ward. He is a diva after all. The Bellew fight is the only fight that makes sense. But of course, he stated it would have to be for the cruiserweight title, and Bellew is no longer the holder of that cruiserweight title. He's champion emeritus, whatever the fuck that means. A champion on hold, whatever. But that's the only fight out there for Ward that makes any absolute sense for him. Going by his mindset, what he's thinking. He doesn't have many fights left. I mean, what else is out there? No really big names at light heavyweight. He's not really interested in becoming undisputed. It's not part of his plan, his goals. So this is what you get with Andre Ward. He either vacates straps, avoids becoming undisputed, and he's looking for the biggest name possible, and I can't knock him. I don't give a shit if he doesn't fight Stevenson. I'm not even going to criticize him. I mean, I get it. I understand. Stevenson, he is what he is. A paper champion. A paper lineal champion. A ducker. Cherry picker. And I can give a shit if Ward doesn't fight him. Go do you, Andre. Get that Bellew fight, bro. But you're going to have to put your ego aside for that matchup. I mean, have to be the beef side to Tony Bellew. And I hope Tony Bellew knocks you the fuck out if that fight actually gets made. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.